Have you ever felt like giving up? Not because you're lazy, not because you're weak, but because everything just feels too heavy to carry? That deep kind of tiredness that sleep can't fix. That silent pressure in your chest that tells you, what's the point? It creeps in when no one's looking. When the world moves on and you're just stuck in the same loop, same pain, same thoughts. And the worst part? You start to believe that maybe this is just how life will always be. But here's the truth. The moment you feel like quitting is the exact moment you are closest to becoming something more. Most people don't fail because they couldn't make it. They fail because they stopped too soon. Right at the edge. Right before something shifted. Right before life responded. So if you're here right now, watching this, stay for what comes next. Because if you do, by the end of this video, you'll see your pain differently. You'll see yourself differently. And that may be the shift you've been waiting for. That may be the moment that flips your life around. Let's talk about what no one tells you when you feel like stopping. When you're sitting alone and your heart feels heavy and your mind keeps pulling you back into doubt. This is not weakness. This is the battleground. This is the place where strong people are made. Not in comfort, not in praise, not in praise. But in silence and struggle and solitude, that place you're in right now, it's the test most people fail. Not because they're not capable, but because they're convinced that pain means it's time to stop. But pain is not the enemy. It's the signal that you're pushing, that you're moving, that you're alive. Growth never feels good in the moment. It burns, it stings, it pulls everything out of you. But that's the price. That's the trade for transformation. See, the world will not stop just because you're tired. Life won't pause just because you're overwhelmed. In your dreams, they won't wait for you to feel ready. That's the truth no one wants to hear. You don't get a second chance to be who you were meant to be. So what are you going to do when it hurts, when it's dark, when no one believes in you? This is when you either become like everyone else or you break the pattern. There's a part of you that knows you were meant for more. That voice, that quiet whisper that keeps asking you to hold on one more day, it's not random. It's you, the real you. The one buried under fear, under past mistakes, under the weight of what they told you couldn't do. That version of you is fighting to come alive, but it needs you to keep going. It needs you to stop waiting to feel better before you act. Action creates momentum. Momentum creates change. And that change becomes the life you've been dreaming of. So keep going. Not because it's easy. Keep going because it's worth it. And the only way you lose is if you stop. This is just the beginning. Stay until the end. Because what you hear next might just be the reason you never give up again. Your mind will lie to you. That's not a flaw. It's a function. Your brain was built to protect you, not to push you. It's designed to keep you alive, not to make you great. That voice that says, not today, I'm too tired, or this isn't working, that voice is fear wearing a mask called logic. And if you believe it every time it speaks, you'll stay stuck. You'll stay average. You'll stay hidden from the life you were meant to live. You need to understand this. Your feelings are not facts. Feeling like quitting doesn't mean you should. Feeling afraid doesn't mean it's dangerous. Feeling unmotivated doesn't mean the goal isn't worth it. That's the trap. That's how dreams die. Slowly, quietly, in moments where we think it's okay to hit pause. But that pause becomes a habit. And habits shape your entire future. You can't wait to feel like it. Motivation is unreliable. No, it shows up when it wants, not when you need it. That's why the people who win in life don't rely on motivation. They rely on discipline, on decisions, on systems that don't ask, do I feel ready? But instead say, do it anyway. That's where the power is. In forcing yourself to do what you said you'd do, even when everything inside you says not to. Your future is not built on how you feel today. It's built on what you do despite how you feel. Think about it. How many days have passed already, wasted because you were waiting to feel different? How many dreams have died inside people because they thought success was about excitement? The truth is, every person who made it, every person who built something real, forced themselves through moments just like this. They didn't feel like it. They were scared. They were exhausted. But they moved anyway, because they understood something most people never will. You don't rise to the level of your mood, you fall to the level of your habits. And your habits are built one choice at a time. That choice to get up, that choice to do one more rep, that choice to stay focused when your phone is calling. That's what builds winners, not talent, not luck, not comfort. Just brutal consistency and the willingness to suffer now for peace later. Even science proves it. Your brain builds strength through repetition. It rewires itself based on what you do, not what you think. That means every time you push through, every time you ignore the voice of weakness, you're not just winning that day. You're programming your mind for strength. You're becoming someone who doesn't give up, someone who finishes, someone who keeps promises, especially to themselves. And that's the most powerful thing you can be. Not motivated, not excited, but consistent, because consistency wins the war. It doesn't look pretty. It's not flashy, but it's unstoppable. And over time, it changes everything. Your brain will fight you. Let it. Your body will resist. Expect it. Your excuses will scream. Ignore them. Because when you force yourself to do what must be done, you begin to separate from the crowd. You begin to transform. You begin to take control, not just of your day, but of your entire life. This is how greatness is built, quietly, repetitively. With every small step you force yourself to take. And if you keep taking those steps, one day you'll wake up and realize you didn't just survive the storm. You became it. The difference between those who succeed and those who stay stuck isn't intelligence. It's not talent. It's not talent. It's not luck. It's the decision to move forward when every part of them wants to stop. That's it. That's the line. And every day you get to decide which side you're on. Not just once in a lifetime, but again and again, every morning, every moment of doubt. Every second when you feel tired, when you feel alone, when the world seems like it's moving forward and you're not. That's your chance. That's your moment to choose force over feeling. Look at the people who inspire you.
The athletes, the creators, the leaders, the survivors, the survivors.
You admire them not because life was easy for them, but because they kept going when it wasn't. They were tired too. They had every reason to quit, but they kept showing up day after day, step after step. Not because they felt strong, but because they refused to let weakness win. What if the pain you feel today is not a sign to stop, but a sign to push harder? What if your resistance is not a wall, but a door? Most people turn back when it gets hard. They start strong but fade when things get real. That's not you. That can't be you. That can't be you. Because there's something inside you that wants to rise. Something tired of the lies, tired of the limits, tired of running from the mirror. You're not here to survive. You're here to evolve. You don't grow in ease. You grow in effort, in pressure, in resistance. It's the tension that shapes you. The struggle that defines you. There's power in the pain, but only if you keep moving through it. If you run, the pain follows. But if you face it, it starts to build you. And that's what people don't realize. Every hard thing you do becomes a layer of strength. Every hard day you survive becomes a weapon. Every time you finish what you didn't want to start, your self-respect multiplies. Sure. And that's the real reward. Not just success, not just results, but the person you become through it all. It needs you to do the hard thing when no one's watching. It needs you to walk when your legs shake, to rise when your chest is heavy, to push when your past says, stop. Your life will never be the same once you realize that the struggle isn't a punishment. It's preparation. It's preparation. Preparation for a life you can be proud of. For confidence that doesn't come from compliments, but from scars. From victories earned in silence. From knowing that you didn't just talk about discipline, you lived it. Let others sit in comfort. Let others seek easy. That's not your path. You're not here for what's common. You're not here for what's convenient. You're here to become something most people never will. Unbreakable. And that begins when you stop waiting to feel ready and start moving because you must. Because you said you would. Because you made yourself a promise. And now it's time to keep it. The version of you that keeps going, even when it hurts, is the one building a future you'll be proud of. That version may not be loud. It may not be flashy, but it's consistent. It shows up, and that's what changes everything. The truth is, no one will understand your journey like you do. No one will fully see the weight you carry, the battles you fight in your head, the moments you keep moving when everything inside screams to stop. But that's okay, because you're not doing this for attention. You're doing this for transformation. There will be days when progress feels invisible, days when you give everything, and it still looks like nothing changed. But that's the trap. That's when people give up. Because they mistake silence for failure. But real growth doesn't make noise. It happens deep inside, quiet, steady, strong. And every hard choice you make, every moment you stay in the fight, every time you show up with nothing but willpower, that's progress. That's success in motion. You won't always get applause. You won't always get support. Sometimes the only person who will believe in you is you, and that has to be enough. You have to learn to clap for yourself, to push for yourself, to trust yourself, because if you don't, no one else will. Waiting for validation will only slow you down. Slow you down. You were not built to be approved by everyone. You were built to become undeniable. And that starts with one powerful decision: to keep going when it doesn't make sense, to move without permission, to act without motivation. That's what winners do. They don't need perfect conditions. They don't need a cheering crowd. They just need a reason. And that reason is usually simple, because quitting would mean betraying the version of them that still believes it's possible. Don't trade your future for comfort. Don't exchange long-term peace for short-term relief. You're not stuck. You're in training. Every struggle is preparing you. Every delay is shaping you. Every setback is building you. But only if you don't give up, because the lesson doesn't come with quitting. It comes with endurance. Your future self is watching you. Not judging, not blaming, just hoping. Just hoping. Hoping you don't walk away. Hoping you stay in it long enough to see what's on the other side. Because what's coming is bigger than what you're facing. What's ahead is louder than your doubts. And it's waiting for you to prove that you're ready. You may not be the most talented. You may not be the fastest. But if you're the most committed, you will win. That's how the world works. Consistency beats intensity. Commitment beats emotion. It's not about feeling your best. It's about doing your best with what you have. And right now you have something powerful. You have choice. You have control. You have control. You have the ability to say, I will not stop. Even when you're tired. Even when it's dark. Even when no one sees it but you. Force yourself to keep going. Not because it's easy, but because your life is worth it. Your dreams are worth it. Your dreams are worth it. And you, no matter how broken, how unsure, how worn down, you are worth it too. Success doesn't come in a moment. It comes in patterns, in habits, in those invisible choices you make when no one's around. Waking up early when you want to sleep. Showing up when your energy is gone. Choosing discipline when distraction looks easier. That's where the shift happens, not in massive leaps, but in small, painful steps that most people aren't willing to take. And when you force yourself to keep going, even without signs of reward, you're doing what 99% of people won't. And that's why 99% never get what they want. There is power in doing the work no one claps for. There is strength in holding the line when everything shakes. And there is purpose in pain if you learn to see it differently. Most people run from the hard days. They treat pain like a wall. But if you choose to lean into it, to face it head on, you'll discover it's not a wall. It's a mirror. It shows you what you're made of. It shows you who you really are. Not the version you show to the world, but the one that decides whether you fight or fold when no one's watching. The reality is, no one owes you belief. No one owes you encouragement. It's nice when it comes, but don't depend on it. If your mission can be shaken by silence, it wasn't strong enough. The journey to greatness is full of lonely moments, invisible effort, and quiet wins. You must learn to thrive in that. To find pride in the process, not just the outcome. Because one day those lonely hours will speak for you. That unglamorous effort will shine. And the very people who didn't believe in you will wonder how you did it. The answer will be simple. You did what they wouldn't. You kept going. You ignored the noise. You embraced the struggle. You didn't look for the easy path. You built your own. And while others waited for motivation, you built discipline. That's how you change your life. Not by feeling better, but by getting stronger. Strong enough to act when you don't feel like it. Strong enough to stay focused when results are slow. Strong enough to trust the process even when progress is invisible. And when you live like that, when you force yourself to keep moving, you create a kind of momentum that becomes unstoppable. You no longer wait for the perfect moment because you realize the perfect moment is built by your effort. You stop wishing and start working. You stop hoping and start becoming. The pain you feel now has a purpose, but only if you decide to keep pushing. You're not losing because it's hard. You only lose when you stop. Every step you take now brings you closer to a version of yourself that doesn't need to pretend anymore. A version that's real, grounded, battle-tested, and unshakable. This is where it starts to count the most. Not when things are easy, but when you want to quit. When every reason to stop sounds louder than your reason to keep going, that's where you get to choose the kind of life you'll live. One built on regret or one built on resilience. Force yourself forward, no matter how slow, no matter how quiet, no matter how heavy, no matter how heavy. Because with every step, you prove that you're not just dreaming, you're becoming. There will come a day when all the pain, all the effort, all the lonely moments make sense. A day when you look back and realize that the battle you're in right now was never meant to break you, it was meant to build you. Every moment you forced yourself to keep going wasn't wasted. It was preparing you, shaping you, forging the version of you that doesn't quit when life gets heavy but stands taller because of it. And when that day comes, you won't remember every detail. You won't remember the exact hours you struggled or how tired you were. What you'll remember is that you didn't give up, that you kept showing up, that you moved when standing still felt safer, that you pushed when no one was watching. And that's the victory that lasts. That's what makes everything worth it. You weren't weak when you felt like quitting. You were human, but you became strong the moment you decided not to listen to that voice. The moment you said, I will keep going anyway. That's the line that separates the average from the exceptional. Not talent, not luck, but the quiet, powerful choice to continue. You'll realize that the voice in your head that once told you to give up grew quieter each time you ignored it, each time you acted anyway. That voice lost its power, and in its place, a new voice grew. One that said, I don't stop. One that said, I finish what I start. One that didn't need motivation, applause, or permission. Just a reason, and the strength to remember it when things got tough. And it will hit you. This was never about proving anything to the world. It was about proving something to yourself. That you were stronger than your excuses, that you were bigger than your fears, that you can build discipline where others only wait for inspiration. And when others fold, you remain. When others pause, you persist. Because you decided long ago, your dreams are worth more than your comfort. Your dreams are worth more than your comfort. Every scar you carry becomes a reminder, not of pain, but of progress, not of failure, but of how many times you refused to quit. They are not marks of weakness. They are proof that you showed up for your life, even when it was hard. And now, nothing can stop you. Not because life got easier, but because you got stronger. Because you built a mindset that doesn't bow to emotions. Because you trained yourself to move through fear. Because you proved, again and again, that you were unstoppable. You didn't wait for a perfect day. You didn't need a special moment. You created your own turning point. You forced yourself to rise. You became what most people only talk about, and that's the truth. Greatness isn't about loud victories. It's about quiet strength. It's about fighting through days like this. And if you're still here, still breathing, still willing, you're already winning. So hold this moment. Let it remind you that you are not here by accident. You didn't come this far to stop. You are here to become. You are here to rise. So you are here to show the world and yourself that nothing will stop you. Because when the world told you to quit and your mind begged you to stop, you didn't. You forced yourself to keep going.